Greetings, Bowie State University. We are concluding another academic year. Yes! Just recently, we celebrated another class of graduates as they commenced at Bulldog Stadium. We watched the class of 2021 walk across that stage and out into the world. Congratulations to our graduates and to their families, and to you for what you have done during this year to support our wonderful outcome for our graduates. During today's ceremony, we will celebrate and honor the achievement and excellence among our faculty and staff who have contributed to the university mission and to the university's strategic priorities of academic excellence, student success, and the long-term viability of the institution. It is now my honor to welcome you to the second virtual Employee Recognition Program at Bowie State University. With our new normal, we are celebrating the milestone years of service, retirements, and distinguished achievements. Again, this year, we want to recognize you and let you know that you are honored and celebrated. I am once again pleased to host our tradition of honoring Bowie State University's faculty and staff. The senior leaders of the administration, the vice presidents, will be recognizing individuals in their respective divisions for the appropriate awards. Now, I would like to share what you can expect. We will first recognize faculty and staff by division in 3 areas: service awardees, retirees, and presidential achievement awardees. We asked all honorees to submit a picture of themselves so that you can immediately recognize them. We hope that they were not too shy and submitted their picture, but even if we did not receive a photo, we are still very proud of their accomplishments, and I ask that you cheer them on wherever you are. And before we begin this celebration, I would like to thank you all for your patience as we have navigated through these tough times. This program is a beacon amid our challenges, and for that reason, the President's cabinet members are standing here with you and cheering you on for your perseverance, commitment, and Bowie boldness. We will now have a musical selection of Lift Every Voice and Sing from Jimmy Kearns, saxophonist and woodwind specialist and alumnus of Bowie State University, who studied under the world-renowned Dr. Clarence E. Knight, Jr. Thank you, Jimmy Kearns, for that wonderful selection. And now, please join me in welcoming your vice presidents who will pay homage to you who have helped make BSU this fine institution. It is now my pleasure to welcome and introduce Dr. Carl Goodman, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs.
Thank you so much, Dr. Breaux. I am representing the Division of Academic Affairs, and I will begin by calling the names of our wonderful faculty and staff who have employment services ranging from 5 to 50 years with the university. 5 years of service, the names for this category are as follows: Guilleen Amusu, Adiria Cropper, Lisa Gleaton, Andrea Johnson, Tatia Pack, Shrikala Rama Raha, Samantha Reddy, Darla Scott, Dora Scott, Jacqueline Sweeney. For 10 years of service recognitions, we have David Abrams, Audie Chelsea, Deborah Koplich, Eddie Crosby, Julius Davis, William Drakeford, and Selma Ferrier, Sunju G, Ayana Lynch, Jennifer White Johnson. And for 15 years of recognition, please join me in recognizing Gloria Alexander, Benjamin Ara, Kim Barnett, Chartez Bonds, Latanya Brown Robinson, Claudette Burge, Tonita Douglas, Dorothy Fardan, Rhonda Gall, Hoke Glover, Chobin Liu, Audrey Lucas Brown, Charla Mackenzie Bishop, Gilbert Pryor, Kayla Richardson, Deara Robertson, Sanandu Sangupta, Steve Sheffield, Azim Zenabi. The honorees for 20 years are Elaine Gunther, Michael Hughes, Vermer Latson, Otis Thomas, Monica Turner. The honorees for 25 years are James Gill D. Lamati, George Shoshin, C. Janice Williamson. We have one honoree for 35 years of service, and she is Mary Maul Holmes. We have no 40 or 45 years of service awardees. However, we do have a 50-year recognition. For 50 years of service, we are recognizing and saluting Margaret Cameron Gross. That concludes our service recognition awards. We will now recognize our 4 retirees: Barry Ciliberti, Mario Fino, Margaret Gant, and Gil Medford. And now for our final areas of recognition in academic affairs, we are recognizing the following Presidential Distinguished Awardees in the following: Distinguished Achievements in Performance, Sonia Osi. Distinguished Achievements in Grants and Research, Sean Coleman, Matasha Harris, and Ji Yan. Distinguished Achievements in Service, Jacqueline Smith, Julius Davis, and Betty Carrico. Distinguished Achievements in Teaching, Iwana Hurd, Shaquille Robbie, Kyrie DeBink. That concludes recognitions in Division of Academic Affairs. I will now turn over the recognition to Mr. Anthony Asavia, Vice President for Administration and Finance.
Thank you, Dr. Goodman. I am representing the Division of Administration and Finance and will begin by calling off the names of our wonderful staff who have service ranging from 5 to 50 years with the university. For 5 years of service, the names for this category are Alice Gonlin, Alex Gordon, Renee Myers. For 10 years of recognition, we have Tim Harley and Luthea Millett. For 15 years of recognition, please join me in recognizing Al Saunders and Tabak Tabalov. For 20 years of service, we have one honoree, and he is Emil Tenure. For 25 years of service, we have one honoree, Wayne Felder. And for 30 years of service, the names for this category are Cindy Gilbert and Steve Jost. For 50 years of service, we are recognizing and saluting Miss Carlise Murden. And we will now recognize our Presidential Achievement Awardee in the category of Distinguished Performance. Thank you, Ms. Dallas Murray, and congratulations. That concludes recognition in the Division of Administration and Finance. I will now turn over the recognition to Dr. Brian Clemens, Vice President for Enrollment Management.
Thank you, Mr. Savia. I'm representing the Division of Enrollment Management, and we'll begin by calling off the names of our 2 honorees for their dedicated service to the university. For 5-year recognition, we have Deneen House, and for 15 years of service, we have Crystal Brown. This concludes our Service Recognition Awards. We will now recognize our retiree, and that one person is Deanna Goodwin. That concludes our recognition in the Division of Enrollment Management. I will now turn over the recognition to Mr. Maurice Tyler, Vice President for Information Technology.
Thank you, Dr. Clemens. I'm representing the Division of Information Technology, and we will begin by calling off the names of our talented staff who have served 5, 10, and 15 years with the university, respectively. For 5 years of service, we have 1 honoree, Nicole Price. For 10 years of service, the names for this category are Karen Cecilio and Aaron Floyd. And for 15 years of service, we have Vernell Lawson. That concludes our Service Recognition Awards. This year, we have no retirees, and we will now recognize our Presidential Achievement Awardee. And now, for our final area of recognition in information technology, we are recognizing the following Distinguished Achievement Awardee. Distinguished Achievement in Performance, Carmela Falcone. That concludes recognition in the Division of Information Technology, and I will now turn over the recognition to Mr. Brent Swinton, Vice President for Institutional Advancement.
I'm here to represent the Division of Institutional Advancement, and I'm so happy to share with you the names of our talented team members who have served this wonderful institution for 20 years. For 20 years of service, we have 2 honorees, Shaquette Gorman and Rosalind Maturi. That concludes our Service Recognition Awards. We have no retirees to recognize from the Division of Institutional Advancement. So I will now turn over the recognition to Mr. Clyde Dowdy, Vice President for Intercollegiate Athletics and Recreation.
Thank you, Mr. Swinton. I am representing the Division of Intercollegiate Athletics and Recreation, and will begin by calling off the names of our talented staff who have serviced for 5 and 10 years with the university, respectively. For 5 years of service, we have Assistant Men's Basketball Coach Brian Wilson. For 10 years of service, we have 1 honoree, Assistant Football Coach Antone Sewell. That concludes our Service Recognition Awards. We have no retirees to honor this year. That concludes recognition in the Division of Intercollegiate Athletics and Recreation. I will now turn over the recognition to Ms. Karen Shahid, Executive Vice President and General Counsel.
Thank you, Mr. Dowdy. I am representing the Legal and Government Affairs Office, and I have 1 person to recognize for 5 years of service, Derek Coley. The Legal and Government Affairs Office had no retirees during this period. I will now turn over the recognition to Dr. Demetrius Johnson, Vice President for Student Affairs.
Thank you, Ms. Shahid. I'm Demetrius Johnson, the Vice President for the Division of Student Affairs, and I will begin by calling off the names of our dedicated staff who have service ranging from 5 to 20 years with the university. For 5 years of service, the name for this category, Amontunde Omotoye. For 15 years of service, The names are Leland Chu, Sharon Glaster, Trinita Johnson, and Guinevere Taylor. And for 25 years of service, there's only one honoree in this category, and that's Lavelle Jones. This concludes our Service Recognition Awards, and we will now recognize our retiree, Jeffrey Olaronshula. This concludes our recognition for the Division of Student Affairs for this year. I will now return the program to our president, Dr. Breaux.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. I too would like to recognize one of my direct reports for 5 years of service, Mr. Clyde Dowdy, the Vice President for Intercollegiate Athletics and Recreation. Thank you for 5 years of committed service. Let's give your colleagues a hand for their special day and for receiving their awards. Regardless of the type of service rendered to the university, we thank you for the part you played in our overwhelming success this year. We appreciate your commitment to the university and to each other. We race to excellence and we celebrate the bounty of our labor. Congratulations on your recognition day.